Hello, Mr. Kalvin, Kosha, and welcome everybody to the Melanin Mic. Thank you for joining us today. And I would like to say again, first and foremost, we greatly appreciate you taking out your time to join us today on the Melanin Mic. We appreciate you for, joining us on our platform to give insight to what you do. And, we're just here to let culture people know that there are so many avenues and so many ways that we can contribute to our community and be an asset and use our skills, outside of working for the white man or doing it on somebody else's dollar. So so first things first, can you tell us what did you do to love on somebody today, even if that somebody is you?
Um, well, I loved on my woman, my
Hey,
queen. She
man.
also, um, yeah, and and I loved on myself. I should have woke up and I praised, gave thanks to the Most High, the Yahweh, for waking me up. Sinning,
Amen.
got my,
Amen. I'd have
you
to
know,
say, me personally, I think this is definitely my highlight of the day, taking out the time to be on my platform that I created and utilize my voice to spread
right.
some love and some awareness. So it's been a queen. And yes, shout out to Miss Destiny the Queen. And and just being present in the places that I want to be versus the places that I have to be. So I am definitely spreading some love today. And just to go ahead and jump it off, so I have looked into you a little bit, Mr. Kosha, and I know you said you give praises to Yahweh, and I saw that you were recently at the Minister Farrakhan's.
Mm.
What would you call that? Would you call it like a
Savior's Day.
ceremony?
It's Savior's Day last year. That's actually coming up in a matter of days, and I want to go back out there. I'm talking to my brother Joshua Muhammad, who's a part of Mosque 45 out here with the Nation of Islam. Those are my good friends. So we're trying to see if I'm gonna get back out there for a second year again.
Okay, so
Because
are you a member of the nation?
no, I'm not a member of the Nation of Islam, but those are my friends, and I do pay attention to the minister, to Minister Louis Farrakhan. So, and shout out to my good friends that's in here, the heiress. She commented as well. So shout out to her.
Shout
She,
out.
yeah, I respect her
That's
as
what's
well. So,
up. Because I can personally say that I know I wasn't like too familiar with the minister as far as to what his actual teachings were. I had always heard things about him, because of Brother Malcolm, which I am a big fan of Malcolm. And to be honest, it was like I'm not. I mean, we're not going to sugarcoat it. They always made minister to be out, out to be this bad guy. And then somebody just asked me, they was like, have you ever even just like listened to a speech? And I was like, I mean, if we're being honest, no,
bad
I
thing.
haven't. So I sat down and went through YouTube to actually just like, go through some, would you still call it a sermon? Like, is it still a sermon?
Yeah.
Okay. To listen to some of his sermons. And I really did like what he had to say. I was like, he really out here making sense, y'all.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
why do people not like him?
Well, because he is, in my opinion, and it's not an unpopular opinion, but he is the strongest voice for Black America. He speaks truth to power. He's unapologetic about it, and for a long time, because the minister is in his 90s now. Uh, so a lot of those videos that you're watching were a lot of us from the 80s
Yeah,
and so forth, and he didn't sugarcoat anything,
never.
and the government wasn't gonna touch him. So he is a true gem. He does not back down from what he believes, based on the teachings from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Master Father Muhammad, um, who the Nation of Islam adores ever so dearly. He's just he'll make you feel good and feel proud about being black, being
Right.
melanated, and in this country, and he'll put you in your place, regardless of who you are. That's why he has the respect that he has. So I'll salute brother until the day that I die. I know that
Yeah,
much.
I can definitely say again, and once I actually gave him the chance, I did like him for those very reasons. I felt like he was unapologetic black, and
Oh
he
yeah.
was um very not only just, I don't want to say loud with his
Mhm.
message, but he was accurate and as far as being intentional about everything that he said. It really had me drawn in to the point where I found myself just going through all of them while I was just, going working at my desk, to a point where I was like, I'm really not understanding how more people are listening to these messages and getting enlightened or empowered to be, your best black
Oh,
self. I mean, I get there are some things like bacon and
yeah,
all that other stuff.
yeah, you gotta let that swine go. I'm a big
Because
advocate.
he
Leave
do
that pork,
talk a lot about the
leave
bacon.
that pork alone.
but
Big advocate of that. But yeah,
but he really does have a good message, y'all. If y'all get the opportunity, I know there's a big connotation or a negative connotation around him, but I'd say give the minister a chance, because
mm-hmm.
a lot of those messages, like you said, they're from the 80s, they're from the 70s, but they are still very relevant to a lot of the things that are happening right now in our
Most
country.
definitely. My cousin John Lee, well, y'all know Jack from Jack TV. He joined in for a little bit. I don't know if he's still on, but I would ask him if he know who he is, and he like, no, I don't know who that is. So the minister has very recent videos and interviews that he has done because he is still kicking. He's alive and well, and the Breakfast Club interviewed him and so many other platforms. So just check him out because he is very important for our people in this day and age, as he has always been. And since your platform is around Black love, I would highly encourage any and everybody to give him a listen. Follow Brother Ben X. Shout out to Brother Ben X, who I've had the pleasure of meeting and fellowshipping with. Um, and shout out to 19 Keys, who a lot of y'all have now become familiar with. 19 Keys and Brother Ben X, based on their platforms around business and their thought leadership and so on and so forth. So if you follow those pages, you for sure gonna be proud about who you are. And yeah, that's I advocate
I
100%.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So to get into Mr. Kalvin Kosha himself, you are a actor, you are a musical recording artist, you are an entrepreneur. Can you tell us a bit about, as far as your background? Have you always been in the music and artist industry, or was that something that you evolved to like after college? Or I'm sorry, if you did attend a university.
Yeah, for sure. I always been into music. I grew up in music. The women in my family were the singers. We had a church going family on my mom's side. So that's where I got my singing touch from. They blessed me with the ability to sing. So I grew up performing in school, in grade school, and even in church choir and stuff like that. And of course, when I got to high school, that's when I started to record music by way of one of my cousins who was doing music. Uh, my cousin Jeremiah, DJ Bozo is what he goes by. God rest my aunt's soul. His mother, first time I ever recorded a song was in her garage where he had his home studio set up. So much love to my family who kick-started, I'll say, my career into recording music, and it just like went from there. So yeah,
That's
Bob,
lovely. Yes, and so look, I know you have your latest promotional album is Pressure,
indeed.
yes? Right. And so you have a song on there. Is that dedicated to your grandma? I believe it's called Pray All.
Oh, you talking about On and On I
Yes,
Pray?
On
Yeah,
and On I Pray.
yeah,
Is
yeah.
that her on the
Yeah,
record?
yeah. That's my great grandmother on the record. She's still with us in the
Hey,
flesh today. I love it.
man.
Really. Um, yeah, so it's dedicated to my grandparents and just anybody who grew up like with that church background or had grandparents who loved them and loved on them and taught them things, and you just kind of think about all those years where you got to get some of that old fashioned love. Got your
Yeah,
ass whooped a
a
few
few.
times. You know what I'm saying? You'll never forget it. You or getting
Yes, my
booked.
granny had a flat swat that she had on standby at all
Yeah,
times. That could
we
be any.
we had a few things. Yeah, we had Brother Rabbit. Brother Rabbit, what she called the switch. So, hey, Brother Rabbit, she gonna get to you, but yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, it could reach you from anywhere. That was the worst part, man.
Uh,
And so I definitely enjoyed listening to the album, and I would say as far as just being a recording artist, there's a certain, especially in today's era, there's a certain type of confidence that you have to have in order to keep making music and be in this what has now become, it really feels like an overly competitive field. Can you tell me, how do you maintain keeping your mental peace as well as sharing your artistry, with the public?
I was just on 95.3 Jams with Mimi Money um, like a day or so
Mhm.
ago. It was it was when was that? That was literally like a day or so ago. We had just come from watching the Bob Marley film.
It was great. It was great. I seen it.
It was the last day of the God Body weekend, and it was the perfect way to end it off for me. So we was in there and we talked about the industry and how it's a lot going on in the industry. And when your conscience has started to be raised, when it's being elevated, you begin to ask yourself, okay, what is my purpose? What am I wanting to do with this? And not that you're gonna be perfect, but it is full of competition. It's full of BS, in my opinion. There's a lot going on, and the way that I keep my peace is, for one, I had to take a step back off of the scene a little bit and focus on some of these other things that I have going on, so that when it comes time for me to press a button or make moves, I'm able to control what I'm doing, and I don't have to fall sucker to the system or anything like that. Like, I'm able to have a clear mind. Another way that you can keep your peace is study to show thyself approved, and start to pay attention to these thought leaders. Like for me, the Minister Farrakhan easily became, I'll say 2 or 3 years ago, easily became one of my newest ways of empowering myself. And the people around me could feel it. They could tell that something was different, something was off. Like, in the midst of everything that was going on around me, while people partying, having fun, I might just be in the living room
Chilling.
watching the minister
Yeah.
talk his talk. You know what I'm saying? He gonna make you feel good about yourself. He can make you feel bad about yourself. But all in all, it just resets your mind to start thinking about, like, how can I really make an impact and one that's good for my people?
Amen.
And shout out to our brother AJ McQueen,
Yeah.
who leading that with the God Body Experience,
Hmm.
because it's literally, he's doing what D1
Hmm.
is talking about right now. Whereas you can be a rapper, you can be a singer, you can be an artist, and you can
Yeah.
uplift our people. You can make us feel about ourselves without talking about killing each other. It ain't got to be hypersexualized. We might have some of that music or whatnot, because that's a part of love and intimacy and whatnot.
Hmm.
And I have some of that, but that's one of the ways I stay sane in all of this and not get so caught up in the hype of what's going on, but allowing my purpose and who I am drive me while I'm going in the direction that I want to go.
Amen. And I really did pick up a lot of that from your album, because not only was it, look, there were songs that had me like ready to get into the gym. There were songs that, like I said, really kind of struck, I want to say, like a little bit of political awareness. I want is that Hold On.
Come on,
That,
yeah,
like, a bit like political, telling you, you should really get out there and pay attention to what's going on in your community. Just
yeah.
hold on. We can do this as a community. We can change the world. You know what I'm saying? And then there were songs like Cocoa Butter Kisses that had me like, oh, that's the
Yeah.
jam.
Grandmothers, that's my grandmother in the background. It's my grandmother, a couple of her daughters, my little cousin.
Granny on vocals. I
Yeah,
love
got
it.
them in there.
That's what I'm talking about. Employ the people that you know, express and utilize those talents, y'all. Like
Mm.
a lot of people feel like you gotta go find influencers or all these other people to promote or be a part of your project or your music. No, you don't. Use the people that you know are gonna be the first people that show up for you. I promise. Promise. So you also had the opportunity to perform at the legendary Apollo in New York, and as somebody who's been there, and I've never even like didn't get to go inside, I was so jealous. But can you tell us a bit about that experience? Because I know we've all used to watch the Apollo when it used to come on Friday nights with Kiki Shepard and Steve Harvey. So what was it like actually being there as a participant on the stage?
You know what? It was a very humbling experience. Um, Standing on that stage and seeing those people, it was like, okay, another milestone reached. I'm used to being on the stage and whatnot, so it didn't hit me all at once, but it was a blessing to be able to say that I did it, and that's why I went and did it. So it was great. Um, Shout out to my frat brother, brother Glenn Alexander, who is a conductor. And out there working with he's working with John Batiste,
Oh,
and
love him.
yeah,
He's
so
very
he's
multifaceted. He's a great
yeah.
brother. Yeah.
My frat brother, he was there. You know, he got his ticket, came and saw me, so that mattered a lot because I'm from Houston, you know, and I'm out there in New York
Right.
for the first time, and that was just an incredible experience. So to get to walk around there and get to see, you know, the Times Square, see the mosques and stuff where Brother Malcolm X was, and just that
Yeah.
whole area, man. It was just
Oh, Malcolm X and MLK Boulevard cross streets it's pretty dope. And I want to say we ended up over there by accident, you know, and it was one of the best things that we could have came across because we rode the wrong train, which we did a few times in New York. We went the wrong way, but once we realized where we was, we was like, okay, let's just adventure around over here. And next thing you know, we was moving around through Harlem.
straight up.
But gotta love it. So not only are you an artist, and like you said, you're very familiar with the stage, but you've also been getting very familiarized with the screen these days. So I know in 2022 you put out a movie. I'm sorry, you were starring in a movie, Mahogany, that is available on Peacock. So all of y'all go watch it and check it out. But that was noted. But that was filmed here in Houston. I think I remember like watching like your stories and stuff when y'all were filming that. Can you tell us a bit about how that movie came to be?
Yeah, shout out to Elena Grundy, who is the writer and director of that film. Um, it took us a while to get that film completed. Um, it started, at least for me, I don't know how long she had bits and pieces of that written, but there was something called the National Black Film Festival that,
Mm-hmm.
that our dear brother J.O. Malone curated with his team. And I attended the second one, and I met Elena during Troy Rowland's acting workshop. Troy Rowland and his wife Tanya Rowland, who have pretty much adopted me as their nephew, you know. So I met them. I met her there, and we were partners for one of the workshops or what have you. And she had that like in her vault, and we did a skit around it, and she wanted to develop it into something. Well, it took us a good 2+ years or so to finally get things going. She ended up moving out there to LA, and she came back to get the film done. We had a lot of challenges. Even myself had some real personal challenges. I lost a couple family members and whatnot, so it was real tough for me. But we got it done, and she's doing her thing with moving that film around, getting it into some film festivals and stuff like that. So yeah, it is available on Peacock, Tubi, Amazon Prime. If you type it in, you'll find it. Yeah.
Okay, definitely sorry for your loss. I really, I really feel like artistry is where it's kind of one of the things that helps us move through those challenges. But I definitely understand how difficult it is to work through loss. So I did get the opportunity to see it. So I applaud you because you wouldn't have known that you were that you were stressed in any
I
type of
appreciate
way. And then let's see. Bay says they're also in H Town. I believe I saw the trailer for that, and you also have an upcoming movie that's coming out on top of that, right?
it.
This
I got a few.
year, that it's like in production, so to speak.
Mhm.
Y'all getting ready to release it soon.
Yeah. So I'm working with London Town Films, and we got a couple films that's coming out. One of them that should be coming out, I believe, in March is Ebony Hustle 2, Ballistic Protection. I got a cameo in there. Um, but the one that will be following is called False Prophets, and that one stars Adina Howard, who I had the pleasure of
Okay, Auntie
yeah,
Adina.
pleasure of working with in that film. And that was dope because I got to write some music that she'll be singing in the film. So we're
Oh,
excited about that one. Yeah.
that's That's amazing. So is there, I know you said that you took acting classes. Do you feel like there's a big gap between being an actor and being a recording artist, or was it like a smooth
Oh,
transition for you?
it's not the same thing. I'll tell you. But for me, growing up, um, I was always naturally talented in those areas. Um, in elementary school, I'll say, is where the real discovery came as far as being a performer. So musically, and again, shout out to my cousin Jack, um, who I grew up with. He was always a character. I was always a character. You know, we were class clowns. He was worse than me, but he was also talented musically. He could play instruments. I always wanted to play instruments. I used to play the saxophone a little bit, like in elementary. He was on the drums or what have you. But we both were characters,
Mhm.
so we knew at some point um, we would be we would be doing film and entertainment in some fashion. Michael Jackson was always my favorite person who I loved to emulate growing up as a kid.
I can see
Uh,
that.
yeah, so I knew it would happen some kind of way, but film I like more. I like film more because I can incorporate the music component into the film, whether I'm performing
Hmm.
in film or whether it's like on stage. I've
Hmm.
to do a couple plays now, and so shout out to Kevo Arts. We got to do a play called "What Do We Do Now" that I starred in, and I got to sing live on stage. And of course, songs are in the films as well, even if I'm not acting.
Yes, because I can imagine plays are different too because they are live. It's like that's definitely one of those. You can't mess up your lines because working on film, it's like we can call cut, do it again, and try again. But the plays, I can only imagine how much more memory or much more skill you have to put into to actually be upfront trying to remember these things in
Yeah,
front of
most definitely, most definitely.
Lord. But of course, that is not all that you do because the list just keeps going on and on. You own your own wine, which is Kosha
Hmm.
Wines. And I would have to say, of course, you got the honey water Moscato, which I have had the pleasure of trying. I want to say my first time when you came to perform for us at Iconic, I want to say you brought some with you, so we were all able to sample it. And I greatly appreciate that, because not only do you have this product, but you often have it with you to not only talk about how great it is, but you physically endorsing it. So that's awesome. But how, as I guess I'm gonna say, a young entrepreneur, did you decide I want to get into wine?
Well, around the time of COVID, when folks were inside the house, businesses were trying to find ways, of course, to stay afloat and what have you. And one of my friends, Jazz, she introduced me to Signature Sips. So shout out to Dr. Hope Foster, who leads that whole brigade, man. She's incredible. She's a crafter, and they're my crafting partners. So at the time, I was a brand ambassador. You know,
Oh,
a way for me to make some money and to promote the different beverages that she crafts. You know,
mm-hmm.
well, eventually, I'll say it had to be around close to the end of that year because my birthday was coming up. Not yeah, it was around the time of December. She was like, "Look, you should definitely get into this. I think it's your time." So I was already into wine.
Mm-hmm.
I was already, it's a classic thing to me and
Right.
sophisticated or whatever. And I took it, ran with it, and we developed something, inspired by my taste and what I'm into and whatnot. She put her magic on it, and my job was to do what I do best, which is,
Marketing.
yeah, exactly, branding, some marketing around it, utilizing my resources in my community, my environment, and the things that I'm doing in order to get eyes on it. And shout out to Jalea Davis of Iconic. That's the homegirl right there. Shout out to her, and shout out to my mentor Anthony Patton. We were in the studio at the time working on a project, so I got to have it there in the studio, body to taste for the first time when Miss Hope brought it on when she was doing her
Mm-hmm.
interview. So yeah.
That's what's up. And so now you are, I mean, can you tell me as far as not only do you own this brand, so to speak, can you tell me what roles that you play? Like, are you not only in marketing, but you do work with, like, I guess, getting it into these different businesses? Because I see that you're in not only a few stores, but you're also carried by a few restaurants and things like that. So is that also something that you do on your own?
Well, yeah. So as far as marketing and stuff goes, I went to school. I graduated from Prairie View A&M University with a degree in communications and marketing. So you did.
I guess y'all Panthers are all right. Y'all are better than us
No,
Tigers, but that's
we
okay.
no. I promise you, we pretty. But yeah, graduated with a degree in communications and a minor in marketing. So I do have a background in that. For me, I am working with different clients on the entrepreneurship side of what I do as well, which is creative branding and marketing for different businesses and brands. So some of the people I'm working with, my good friend Damola, the violinist, I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have heard
Mhm.
of Damola. Uh, super
Very,
talented,
yeah,
right?
very.
Yeah, and he's doing his thing. So I do a lot of his graphics, flyers for events that he has coming up.
Okay.
I'm out.
So
But
you a computer whiz too?
indeed, I'm on the computer creating, doing my thing. My brother Antoine Salas of the Great American Credit Secret. I do graphics for him and his company, his project. Um, Chris Colley, she's a book publisher, Game Changer Publishing is what she leads, and several other clients like Changing the Generation Full Gospel Baptist Church, and just several other
You
folks that
know,
I'm
just
working with.
to name a
Yeah,
few.
just to name a few, you know what I'm saying? So, and my own stuff. So if you go on Kosha Wines on the Instagram or you go to the website,
You do all of it.
see, I do my own
You
graphics.
guys
Yeah.
remember we was just talking about how the entrepreneurship is about 95% us as the CEOs, because
Yeah.
it is. But it's important, to teach yourself all the different skills because I know it's cool to be the face of something, but I honestly can say like I said, I went to Texas Southern and graduated with my business degree. And most of it was because I was telling myself I wanted to own my own business, but I might hire somebody to do a service for me, but I need to understand what they're doing. I need to be able to look at this and say, I understand what this looks like. And to be honest, my biggest goal is I don't want anybody stealing from me or taking anything or, taking advantage of me and I not understand what's going on behind the scenes of my business. So I don't
Yeah.
have to operate at all, but I need to understand how it's working. So applaud you for that because I know how much of a task that can be, especially when you personally you're doing shows, you're showing up places, you're making music, and with all of that, what is can you say is your best personal asset to staying on task with the goals you set for yourself?
My best asset to staying on task with the goals. Uh, that's a good question. Ask it in a different way.
Sure. What skill do you feel like you have to have in order to reach the goals that you're trying to attain?
For me, because I do have a lot going on, I would definitely say persistence.
Mm,
I am working on consistency because I do have so much going on. It's hard for me to stay focused on one thing for
yes.
right now because when you have a hustler spirit, um, and you're also in the process of learning. Like I'm putting myself through school in a certain kind of way,
Right.
um, learning how to do the things that I wasn't focused on before when it was just about
Hmm.
creating. I'm also learning like how the systems work in order for things to make
Tell me.
things happen.
Right.
Yeah, so for me, you know, you got to be persistent and you got to be consistent, and that's a challenge for me. So I'm working on that, and to have discipline.
Hmm.
It's not very easy for me because I can easily get tired of something or put something down and like move on to the next project. So
Yes.
I'm working on like putting things together in this web, in this system in order for everything to work. And I've given myself grace, not
Amen.
rushing. I'm enjoying it. I'm learning more about myself as I'm growing and I'm developing and I'm studying, you know what I'm saying? And I'm taking my time. I'm taking my
Amen.
time.
I, I
Yeah.
I agree. I would have to say that those are probably like a good top three for me too. Just because, like you said, giving myself grace probably has to be one of the hardest things for me because I'm just so, I guess, accomplished driven. Or it's like if I know I'm capable of doing something, it's like today, what are you waiting on? Like what's happening? What's holding you back? But like you said, I could write something down and then that quickly turn into three, four, five other
Yeah.
things. And
Yeah.
like, wait, how did we get over here from that? And are we still on track with that now that we're over here doing this? And it can get overwhelming, like you said, very easily. So I would have to say to anybody who's multifaceted, like we are, who have a lot of goals to reach, I would say know that you're capable of doing them or getting them all done. Just like you said, be diligent in working on them daily, but give yourself grace. And I personally am a write down person just so I can see I might not have finished it, but this is where I got. And baby steps are steps forward, y'all.
Yeah.
Appreciate them, love them, and be okay with where you're at.
Yeah, most definitely. And salute the people who are in your corner, working with you, helping you out,
Yeah.
and love on your clients and the people that's spending money with you,
Yeah.
people that's there when you going through stuff and it's giving you advice, and even if they just there for a phone call, you know what
Hello.
I'm saying? All of them matter because we do go through things, and I think in some kind of way everybody needs that kind of support system, whether it's your therapist, your family, your friends, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody plays some kind of role, and it's super important, especially for people like us who are very busy and we need some time to like on the other side and look at it from like a consumer
Yeah.
standpoint or what to ask people like what you think about these things that I have going on and just get unbiased opinions and have somebody to like just pour your problems out to stand in the gap and just hear you. Like shout out to those people too that's in your life
Right.
like that because they matter.
Shout out to the village because it does. It takes one. And everybody, like you said, everybody plays a role. And I am grateful for the people who, like you said, are showing up for me in the ways that they do because it does. It takes a village.
Yeah.
Speaking of village, can you tell me what can we as a community do to help support you and your business?
Well, um, most definitely, the wine brand is one of the easiest things that is getting attention. Um, so just try the wine and share it. You know what I'm saying? You will love it. We spend a lot of money um, on alcohol, and I'm not saying that as a proud thing, but I think that that is one of the easiest things we know how to do, right?
Right.
So skip the bottle of Douce for a moment, or whatever. I'm not endorsing them or
Right.
whatever, or being an ambassador for them, but try the wine out. It's 15% ABV. You will love it, and it'll make you want to share it. Shout out to my frat brother Zed with Zed State Ideas. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have seen a lot of those videos floating around about some of the date spots in Houston where you go and for singles and couples to go and listen to R&B and jazz and stuff like that. A lot of those videos are floating around, and that's by Zed State Ideas. He's curating events for people to get out to and enjoy themselves. And one of the most recent things he's been doing is the R&B Vines
Yeah.
event, like twice a month or something like that. So tap in because we do have the wine selling out at each of those events. And or
Congratulations.
just share something that I'm doing or whatnot, interact. I don't ask for much because I know that when you spend your money with whatever I have available, it's quality, and you go enjoy it, and that's about it.
Right, like you said, it's called honey water wine, and
Yeah,
it's a Moscato, so it's real sweet, y'all. And I mean, it's 15%, so that means it's more than Stella
yeah,
Rosa to get you to go.
yeah.
But it's a very flavorful wine, and you can also sip on it while you're listening to his album. Because, like I said, I definitely did enjoy Pressure. It was it was well balanced, but it was very grown and sexy for sure. So I definitely felt the vibes. And then, of course, like you said, your movie. They are on. You have three different movies out.
If I'm counting correctly, yeah, we got Mahogany. I am in this movie called H Town. Destiny is pinned down there. So H Town by J Harper Films. I'm in that movie as well, and I'm sure there's maybe one or two more that I'm in out. I can't really think, but we got some more coming out. So, yeah, I appreciate you also for you know regarding the album, the songs that you noticed that were like politically charged and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because it is a multifaceted album in a way, and it's not just like sexy
Right.
music on there. I'm really talking about some stuff in there. So for people who get an ear in a certain kind of way to really hear what I'm saying in my records, yeah, that's deep. So I appreciate you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We were talking beforehand about, how it's really important these days that artists are putting out albums instead of versus just like singles or, EPs, actually music that you can listen to from the first song to the last song and they're cohesive. Like there's a story told or the album makes sense. Like that's definitely, I feel like, something that's missing in a lot of today's artistry, but like I said, you get that from your album. So it was a good listen for a person who actually enjoys listening to the words of music and not just the beat. It was a good album, and I was shocked. I was like, look at Calvin out here sounding like I was like out here sounding like he grown for real. Let me find out.
Long time.
Yeah,
I've been
I
here out
because
high school, so yeah.
yeah, because I'm like the first time I even saw you perform, it was I want to say at like some hookah bar and you were performing Hold On. And that was when I was like, okay. I was like, he really out here, like, spreading a positive message, with his music. And then the second time I came across you was with Iconic. And I was like, okay, like, and he's utilizing his platform to make good music and not just be an entertainer, So you were definitely somebody that I had on my radar, especially like I said, being from Houston, being able to reach all of these different aspects in your career so early because I'm sure you still have so much more on your plate, so much ambition and goals set for yourself. So I want to say best of luck on all your endeavors, y'all, and be sure you follow Kalvin, of course, at Kalvin Kosha and Kosha Wines, which is at Kosha Wines, I think, on Instagram. And did you have any questions or anything for me?
Well, I ask you per your platform, what is what would you say is gonna be your quote unquote claim to fame, or when you feel like you've gotten to that point where you feel like, Mama, I made it. What does that look like for you?
You know, I'd have to say if I portray a message that resonates with enough people, like you said, that can make a positive impact in some kind of way, then I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm like, I have this platform as far as Melanin Mike, but I also like writing. And, I think one day I'm going to write a bomb movie and, and it's going to be pretty awesome. But I just wanted to still be a platform where I know a lot of talented people and I have the platform or the skills to put the people that I know deserve it in a space to get the attention that they deserve. And I think once I'm able to do or put out that project, I'll be content with that because I know like it's gonna be an impactful message, whatever it is, because I write or I will create with intent, not just for entertainment. But I mean, I'm sure it'll be funny because I'm funny. But I definitely just want it to be entertaining, but enlightening and empowering to be able to spark the conversation to whoever watches it or to whoever might hear my craft or hear these messages. That's really where I feel like I made it. Is I caused somebody to spark a conversation with somebody else about something that mattered.
That's what's up. Well, best with that regard because you are in the space of media, and that's huge because we know the imbalance when it comes to money and funding in black spaces when it comes to media. And we know how easy it is for when it comes to media for, with black spaces, it's a lot of drama and such. So hopefully you will be very successful in your platforms and highlighting black love,
Yeah.
continuing and align yourself with the thought leaders and people who really are out here expressing how important it is to have black love and just black excellence, period. I know there's a lot going on. And if you align yourself with those people, I'm pretty sure you'll be just fine. And I look forward to more that you got going on because that's the way we on quality work, trying away from tearing each other down and whatnot on our platforms. Hopefully, our reality television and our reality media comes back to really being
Yeah.
real, fake stuff, but real. Um, and yeah, I'm pretty sure you'll be super successful in that. And I appreciate you for having me on the platform.
Well, I appreciate those words, and I don't take them lightly because, like you said, who knows? One day we might be collaborating in different spaces. So I look forward to all the advances in both of our careers. And I'd like to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the Melanin Mike Show today. Next week, you can catch us here on Tuesday, where we will be speaking with our medical cannabis curator this is still the month of February, so we are teaching you how to love on yourself in so many ways. But I know there are a lot of y'all out there that got a plug. She's going to be the one that's going to help you figure out what your plug is selling you and how to identify it and make sure it's not only something that's making you feel good, but that's also good for you because it really is medicine, y'all. These are things that, shouldn't just be taking anything into your body. So, gonna bring my girl Crystal on to the Melanie Mike Show to put us on to a little bit of knowledge when it comes to the green. And yeah, I can't wait for you guys to catch the
Say,
show. But until then,
say this because I want to make sure you save this live so
yes,
that
I'll make sure I send it to you once we save it, and then it'll also be available on YouTube by Friday as well. And yeah, once we save it here, I can, because I don't know if it'll be like super long. So can you shoot me your email just in case, and I can also email it to you. Um, but yeah, I think that's it, y'all. Oh yeah. So of course, in the meantime, if you haven't already, make sure you love on somebody today, even if that somebody is you. And again, we will see y'all next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Thank you, Calvin.
right.
And
Appreciate
thank you everybody for tuning in. See y'all next time. Peace.